So what are two stocks that have recently came into my watch list whereby the uptrend can potentially still continue, alright, we can potentially see a bit more upside. Hey guys, Joey here, top tier remisier in Phillip Securities and chief trainer at Trading Impossible. Right, so over the past 1 month to a few weeks, we have seen some good new counters coming to my watch list. And in today's video, I'm going to cover just these two stocks, right? And the first one will be right over here called Bukit, Sembawang, alright, one of the property developers right over here. Just about a month back, we had some upside targets that were drawn when they kind of approached that $4.40 resistance level. Upside targets that were drawn to about 460 to 480, like what we've seen over here. So today we're going to look at Bukit Sembawang to see where we are and if there could potentially be a bit more upside and what does it say on the system, right? Basically the one GT, the one good trend system that I have that kind of alerted me to this counter in the first place. So that is Bukit Sembawang, alright. And the next one we look at would be this company called Boustead, right? Boustead, Boustead, right? And just about last week, we saw some really good bullish price actions coming back again. Right over here, there were some upside targets that were drawn right to about that $1 critical psychological resistance and target, right? So it seems like over the past few days, we have kind of played out and pushed higher. So today is the, let's take a look, right? So today is the 25th of March, Thursday, alright, it's 11:46 a.m. It's going to be lunchtime. So we look at these two stocks, Boustead and Bukit Sembawang, to see where we are and what it says on the system, if there could potentially be a bit more upside, right? So do stay around all the way to the end of this video because I think you're going to like what I got for you, and we're going to cover some of those good levels where you could potentially, position yourself to kind of ride the potential reversal up. So let's take a look at the first counter, which is called Bukit Sembawang. Right over here, let's see what this company is doing. I think most of you would know already. And this company is pretty much in the property development. Look at this right over here, development of properties, which includes developments of residential properties for sale, investment, holding. And I think they have quite a few projects in Singapore that are quite popular, like Luxus Hill Phase 8, that's somewhere in Ang Mo Kio, alright, and quite a few projects in Singapore, alright. So pretty much focused in the Singapore real estate sector, right, and real estate development. So this is Bukit Sembawang, right? So let's take a look at the charts to see what it says for Bukit Sembawang right now. Okay, so here it is, right? This is Bukit Sembawang. So I mentioned it was just about a month back. We were right over here, and there were some upside targets that were drawn to about that $4.80 with a potential break above this 440. Alright, so yes, it seems like we have kind of like broken above this 440, alright, went all the way up to around 460, consolidated, and eventually it broke that 460 level again, right? So this was kind of like the upside targets that were drawn, just about a month back, and seems like we are still not really there yet. 480, but still on the way there. Let me just remove this target and we kind of look at it as where we are right now, right? So before I look at the current, right, let's take a look at the trend, right? The trend in terms of what happens over the past 1 to 2 years. So you can see that for Bukit Sembawang, it was pretty much in a downtrend, alright, since like 2019, even before the pandemic hit. Right over here, you can see we were pretty much in a downtrend. Look at this, right? The red line, which is the 100 days moving average, is like below the blue line, and they're like both pointing down. So prices were like pretty much below both of these two lines since like May and June 2019, even before the pandemic hit. Of course, when the pandemic hit somewhere in 2020, it kind of broke this $4.40 support and went all the way down and started to consolidate and find a bit of a bottom, a bit of a support. Alright, but even before the pandemic, it was like in a downtrend, right? But what happens was, over the past, I would say 2 to 3 months, somewhere around like January, right? January, February, look at this right over here. You can see that this red line, right, the 100 days moving average, have kind of like crossed back up above the 200 days moving average. So that's a sign in terms of the trend kind of like turning from like a downtrend since like 2019, all right, before the pandemic, to a bit of an uptrend just beginning to happen. All right, and that's what is potentially happening right now. You can see that it started to push up, all right, prices started to consolidate a bit higher, kind of breaking higher and consolidate. So that's a good sign of the uptrend starting to happen. All right, and yes, so I mentioned just about last month, there were some upside targets that were drawn from 440 to like 480, and this is where we are right now at about $4.68. So I would say that right now the immediate support level would be at about the $4.60. Let me just zoom in for you guys, about $4.60. and 60 cents. You can see this is where the 20 days moving average is as well. The green line, you can see kind of like approaching that level. And over the past 2 to 3 weeks, you can see that we have been holding above this $4.60. So anything above 460, I would say that the uptrend still looks quite intact, and we might consolidate from like 460 to 470 is like a 10 cents range, right? And then we might potentially break this 470 to push higher to maybe like 480, or the potential $5 psychological level. That $5 psychological level is key. You can see this is pretty much where we will back to 2019 September, even before the pandemic, right? So yeah, I think it can potentially happen. I think we do see some good bullish price actions above that 470. Right now, you can see today we kind of attempted to break that 470, but sellers came back to push it back down. So let me just go to draw a temporary resistance line right away here. All right, could be a red line. You can see this would be the consolidation phase from now, from 460 to 470. All right, so if you're looking to accumulate on dips, yeah, as I mentioned, anything above 460 looks good, but for this uptrend to really continue, we need to really see some good move above that 470 to push all the way up to like even 480 to $5, right? So this is Bukit Sembawang on the charts. I hope you have taken note of some of these key levels, right? So let's take a look at what it says on the 1GT, right? The one good trend system that kind of guides me on this counter in the first place. Okay, so this is Bukit Sembawang on the 1GT, right? The one good trend system that I had that kind of guides me or kind of alerts me to counters like these, all right? And of course, come out with like signals kind of guide me on when to get in and when to get out, right? So this is Bukit Sembawang. You see that somewhere around December, right? In fact, on 31st December, right over here, let me just zoom in for you guys. We had what we call a 1GT bullish signal. You can see it's a green arrow pointing up, so kind of like a good bullish signal. And that's where I mentioned that there were some signs of the uptrend starting to take shape. You can see that the moving average was slowly starting to point up already. All right, so we had this bullish signal started to push up in the next few weeks. Went all the way up. We got to exit, and what happens was just most recently, somewhere in 4th of Feb, all right, just early February 2021, we got a new 1GT bullish signal, and that was where we alerted to it again. That's where some upside targets were drawn, as I mentioned just now. All right, so yeah, then we had this bullish signal, so it kind of broke that 420 and 440, as I mentioned, and right now, as I mentioned, it's about $4.68, 464 level, right? So are there any exits right now? The answer is no, right? It seems like we are not seeing any exit signal for this 1GT bullish signal. So yeah, there could potentially be a bit more upside. As I mentioned, right now we might be in a consolidation phase from like 460 to 470 in this like 10 cents range. So if we do break that 470, I think that could be a bit more upside to like $4.80, $5, and hopefully we might see an exit signal there. And that's where you can also think about locking some profits, or protecting your profits to make sure that you don't lose money when you've already made them. All right, so this is Bukit Sembawang on the 1GT, the one good trend system that kind of guides me on when to get in and when to get out, and of course alert me to this counter in the first place. Alright, so let's go on to the second counter I'd like to cover today, and this would be Boustead. Alright, so guys, if you like this video, go ahead to give me an early thumbs up. It will definitely help out the YouTube channel, and thank you so much for doing this, right? So let's dive into Boustead right now. So this is Boustead currently trading about 0.99. All right, so let's take a look at what Boustead is doing. I think totally different from Bukit Sembawang, right? So let's take a look at what this company is doing. So this company is a provider of infrastructure related engineering services. So it kind of like does like energy related engineering segment relating to design, engineering, supply of systems to the oil and gas sector, petrochemical, solid waste energy sector. All right, so yeah, I would say in the construction, a bit of an engineering company. All right, and solution providing solutions to this sector as well. All right, so this is Boustead Singapore. Okay, so let's take a look at what it says on the charts before we dive into the system to see what it says and if there are any signals again. So this is Boustead on the charts, currently trading at about 0.99 right over here. You can see this is where we are right now, and just guys, I mentioned just about a week back we were pretty much consolidating from like 88 to 92, and there were some upside targets that were drawn right over here. Already kind of broke that 92 cents all the way to that $1 target. So it seems like we have kind of like approached this $1 target, all right, in a matter of a few days, and there's some profit taking coming back. All right, so what is the outlook right now for Boustead? So let's take a look. Right, you can see that right now for Boustead, since somewhere around like November, December, the trend have kind of like turned up. Looking at the moving averages, you can see the green pointing up, the 20 days moving average pointing up. You can see this red and blue line, the 100 days moving average is kind of like above the 200 days moving average. So both of them are like pretty pretty much pointing up, right? And that's where the uptrend really started with it, like consolidating. It broke that 75 cents, went up, consolidated, broke above that 85 cents, and consolidated, right? So this is where we are right now. In fact, we can also draw what we call, all right, an upward sloping channel support line right over here. You can see that prices have been like holding above this upward sloping channel support line. So this would be the target that I've drawn previously from like 92 all the way to that $1. But right now, the fact that we have headed towards that $1, we might see a bit of profit taking coming back near that $1. We might potentially retrace back down. Potentially, I think hopefully we do see some good support coming back right near 95 to 92. That would be a bit of good support. Let me just change this red line, which was originally the resistance, to a green line, because now that would be the support level. So anything from 92 to maybe even 95, right? Look at this. 92 is where it kind of broke up, as I mentioned, and look at this. The green line, the 20 days moving average, is right there as well. So that would kind of like provides a bit of a dynamic support. 92 to 95, 92 to 95. That would be where I would say buyers might start to come back again. It might actually kind of retrace back down, right? Because a bit of profit taking. Those who have bought around here, they might want to get out at near that $1 and take some money and take some profits, right? So it might kind of like retrace back down to somewhere from 92, 95. And that's where I would say buyers can potentially come back again, and a potential rebound from this support back to the $1 critical resistance level. So it might consolidate below $1 for now. I would say, given that you have kind of like spiked up by quite a bit over the past few days, we might consolidate below $1 before an attempt to break that $1, and that's where we can potentially see our targets revised higher. But right now, it's still below $1, so that would be a good consolidation phase below $1, right? It's good that it kind of like consolidates rather than just pushing up and breaking $1 and then go to 110 and 120 within like a few days, right? That would be a bit more dangerous. So for a healthy uptrend, as I say all the time, we want to see it when we can break up, consolidate within like 1 or 2 weeks, and then that's where it starts to attempt to kind of push higher again, right? So this would be Boustead, right? So yes, there we have it. This is Boustead, currently good support, I would say somewhere from 92 to 95, and that's where we can potentially see a rebound, all right? And I would not rule out more upside if we do see more bullish price actions above that $1 psychological level. Okay, so here is Boustead, all right, on the 1GT, the one good trend system that I have, or that kind of guides me on when to get in and when to get out, right? So you can see that somewhere around like July, I'll not go so far, maybe somewhere around like July 2020, this last year, we had some good bullish signal coming back. In fact, it was like pretty much a downtrend, and there's this trend bar over here that kind of like turned from red to green, now kind of like indicating that the trend kind of like turned from a bit of down to like up, and that's where it started to really move up, right? Somewhere around like July 2020, right? So you can see there was some bullish signal somewhere around here in July, went up. Somewhere around October, 19th of October, we got a bullish signal, went up by around 10 to 15%. Another exit, bullish signal again, went up, and that's where it started to consolidate. As I mentioned, it kind of consolidated over the past 2 months, from like 88 to 92. Not much of a move, but of course we broke. Look at this, right? This most recently when we broke that 92 resistance level just last week, we got a new 1GT bullish signal right over here, and that's where it started to push up, and this is where we are today at that $1 critical resistance level, whereby some profit taking is coming back, right? So yes, we have a 1GT. Look at this 1GT bullish signal, a green arrow pointing up, with no exits right now, right? So yeah, let's see if that eventually, if it consolidates below $1 for a while, eventually hopefully it breaks that $1, and that's where it might push higher, and we might see an exit signal that comes out later. All right, so this is Boustead on the 1GT system. So yes, there we have it, guys. I've covered pretty much 2 stocks today, which is Bukit, Sembawang, and Boustead, which you can kind of like put in your watch list to ride the uptrend further, right? So as I mentioned, there were some signs of a good uptrend or some bullish signals coming in just over the past few months to the past few weeks, and these counters are pretty much still in my watch list, and you can also put them in your watch list to kind of position yourself to ride the rebound, or maybe to ride the uptrend even further, right? So I hope you have taken note of some of the key levels that I talk about as well. All right, and yes, if you want to find out a bit more in terms of the system or how we do it, you can attend kind of like a free live workshop to find out a bit more. Right, I'll probably be doing a bit more live workshops. It's a web class whereby you can register for it. I'll put the link just below this video. Go ahead to register for it if you can. All right, see what dates are available. Right, so I seldom do web class like this. I normally do live events, but of course we can't do live events right now, right? So yeah, this would be some of this web class if you don't find out more about how we do it in terms of the strategy, the one good trend strategy and framework behind, and how we kind of use system to kind of guide us. All right, so So I hope you like this video. Go ahead to hit the subscribe button if not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel so that you will not miss out on any videos like this, right? And thank you so much for watching. Joey here. Take care.